Okay, hello. Okay, so I've been asked to do the train read now on Iesha Jackson. Okay. So I'm also going to ask, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you're made aware when I do updated reads. And if you like this reading, please hit that like button. And please share this out. Share this wherever you think people that can help find Aisha across your social media, whatnot. Okay, so how the train read works, I'm going to shuffle. I'm going to ask that a card come out, that Aisha pops a card out of the deck that is going to represent her. Once we do that, I will separate the cards into 12 piles at that time. Once all the cards are out, then we will go to the piles to find which pile Aisha is in. And we go from there. So, just so you know how this works, say that this card is the card that pops out and represents Aisha, okay? When we separate, we put this back in the deck and I shuffle them up, separate them into 12 piles. So, when we find the pile that she is in, okay, so here's, just right now, I'm just to show you how this works. If this is Aisha's card, okay, so when we pick up the deck, the piles, and we see her card here, the two on each side of her are going to be the indicators, okay? The other card is going to be a clarification card, but the main cards are going to be the two and hers, okay? So the two on each side of her. So if we get it, and she is at the end, okay? This is just hypothetical right now. This is her card. Then you take the card from here, you put it behind, and these become the two main cards in the read, okay? So now that we got that all out of the way, we're going to give the cards a shuffle, and we're going to ask the ancestors, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, to come and help us. Can we pop out a card from the deck, please? That will be the card that represents Aisha in the train read. We just need one card, please, to represent Aisha. We need to find where she is, where she could possibly be located, an area, description of that. Okay, two turned over there, so give us an area where you think Aisha should be. Areas of interest. My shuffling isn't the greatest because I had a shoulder injury, so it's getting better, but it's still sore. Okay, so the card that's going to represent Aisha is I Remember, okay? And you guys know my memory, so I'm going to write this down. I remember, and that is going to represent Aisha in the train read. And I'm very sorry for mispronouncing her name in my last read. I did correct it. I'm very sorry about that. It was a very quick email that I got, and I thought it was an L, so I do apologize for anybody that was offended. It was not intended. Okay, so here's the card that represents Aisha. We are going to put it in the deck. We'll just pick somewhere here in the deck to put it, okay? And I will show you. I do not now know where it is. The deck is, okay, so now what we do is we're going to shuffle this deck up. And what we do now is this is where we go in and we separate the cards into the 12 different piles. Each pile will represent a car on the train, which gives us an indication of, you know, the circumstances, the area, the place where she could be, okay? Now, this is all, oh, my shoulder. This is all in my opinion only of what I get from the cards and what I get from the train read. So I'm just putting that out there. Although I've had some pretty good results from this read. Whoops. Okay. So now we're going to do, this is the part where it takes a little bit of time. We're going to separate the deck now into 12 piles, and then we will go looking for Aisha. So please bear with me as we do this. Just take a little bit of time. Sorry guys, my shoulder is just stiffening up. I'm going to try and keep my elbow close to my body. Oh, I can't for up here, and it is. It's hard on the shoulder, believe it or not. Okay. So now that we have the cards all separated into 12 piles, we will now start at pile 1 and go through the piles to see which car Aisha is going to be in. Okay, so just let me take a drink of my coffee here. My throat is sore. My shoulder's killing me. It's not a good morning. Okay, so we're going to start with pile 1. And we are looking for I Remember. Okay, so she's not in pile 1. Oops. Don't mess up. She's not in pile 2. She's not in pile 3. Not in pile 4. She's not in pile 5. She's not in pile 6. Here she is. I Remember. Okay? So, these piles are no longer of interest. We are going to keep her pile there. So she is in pile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She's in pile 7. Okay. So pile 7 is the mail card. And this is not good. Okay, so the mail car represents, and I'm having a hard time saying this. I did a read on her, I believe a couple of days ago. The car that she is in now is the mail car. The mail car is dead letter office, which means deceased. So this is not what I was expecting in this read. I'm kind of dumbfounded right now because it is telling me now that she is deceased. And this is the train read when we've asked for location of Aisha. So here's Aisha's card. So we take the one on each side of her. Okay. So this is going to be a clarification card. Now, the thing that is hitting me is because she's in the male card, which means now deceased. I get the void card on the right side of her, and I've got all paths lead home on the left side of her. These are both indicators that she's no longer in the physical world. So we are going to go forward, and we're going to try and get an area where she could be. Also, as a clarifier, I've got the courageous Finny, okay? Multi-faced, unique in nature, and let yourself be seen, okay? And I've got the void. So she wants to be found. She wants to be brought home, be brought back home. The I remember, okay, talks about the fated life versus destiny. So which talks about what has happened to her compared to the way she thought life was going to be. All paths lead home. What it talks about is turning your gaze within, okay, intuition, inner authority. Now, with the void, I find she's in an area that almost is around the last place she was either seen or the last place she should have been. Okay? All paths leave home talk about intuition. Okay? So when I go to the maps, my intuitive, I'm also an empath, and I'm also intuitive. That's where I get my information from maps. Okay? But from what I'm seeing here, is she is talking about something that went against what she expected and is bringing out her fate. Okay? Everywhere in these main cards that I'm seeing circular areas. Okay? So that's an indicator for me. When I go to maps and I look, it's going to be something around one of those places. I don't know where I'm going to be drawn to. I don't know where she lived. I don't know the exact location yet. I've asked for that in the email I sent this morning. So I don't know where she lived. I don't know where she was last seen alive by others. Okay, because I was told by, I guess, one of the subscribers that it was a family member that they went somewhere and a family member drove her home, dropped her off. Okay, so I need those two locations where she was last seen, not by the family member that dropped her off at home, but other members maybe of the family or where she was. I need that location, where she was. And then I need the location of where this family member dropped her off, so which would be her home. I need those because I am seeing circular areas. Okay, so that leads me to believe with my intuitive that it's going to be around one of those two areas. So when I go to the maps, I will go to each area and I will see where I am drawn to. Okay, I will get intuitive feelings. I may see things. I may get overwhelming feelings where I can kind of narrow down an area. But I do feel that she is in a shallow grave. I believe that she has now been covered up because it's telling me about the void. The void also tells me that she's left the physical world. All paths leave home also tell me that this happened either at her home or on her way home. Okay, and like I said, when I go to maps, I'm going to be able to tell you if this happened at her home, on the way home. I will get that intuitively, okay? She's talking about remembering. So I don't know if the person that has done this, I feel she was taken, and I feel like this person has done something wrong to her before. And I felt like she was trying to get past that and like almost like a new start with this person. Okay? Because I've got the courageous Vianney, okay? Multi-faced, okay? So this person could have like almost like backstabbed her at one time or made something up about her. Multi-faced, like two-faced, almost like somebody that's, I don't know, I don't remember. I'd have to go back to the read. I do so many reads, you guys, but I don't know if the mask or the trickster come out in her read. But that's what she's talking about. Almost somebody like that's two-faced or hides behind a mask. And I feel like it's somebody that did wrong to her before and she let it go and gave them a second chance. It's telling me that all paths leave home. So this is telling me right now that either it happened on her way home, that she never really made it home, or it happened at her home. And I will be able to tone into that a little bit more. And if I need to do another reading to get clarification on that, I will. I'm going to see what I get intuitively and empathically when I go to maps, because this is very disturbing to me that I get all paths lead home with the void and being in the mail car where it says she is now deceased. So I believe the other day when I did a read on her, I felt she was still alive. I may have to do another read, you guys, on her, being that this is what's come out in the train read. Because I got that she was still alive, and these cards are not telling me she's alive anymore. I'm getting she's buried, and she's below ground. She's in a shallow grave. This is going to be somebody that did her wrong in the past, I'm getting, and that she forgave and gave another chance to. All paths lead home. This tells me it either happened at her home or on her way to her house. And I'm getting circular. In everything here, I'm getting circular. So it's around one of those two areas of where she was between there and home. Okay? So I need those locations. When I get that she's in a shallow grave, I get that she could be near water or in water. But I'm also getting, I'm not getting it's a heavily wooded area, But I'm getting this could be almost like a graveyard, near a graveyard. And there could be like I'm almost seeing like, I'm almost seeing like a graveyard, or where there's statues kind of. This is statues or a graveyard, okay? And I'm almost seeing like a pond or a creek with a bridge that goes over it. Something like that. And the way I get information is my ancestors are showing me things that I've been to before. So right now I am seeing where my grandparents are buried. Where they're buried, as you come into the graveyard, you go around like a loop kind of like thing, almost like in this circular motion, okay? And where they're buried, there's a little pond there, and there's a bridge that goes over it over the water. It's like a little creek that goes into a pond. That's what my ancestors are showing me, is where my grandparents are buried, okay? So when I see that, that's what I'm seeing here. This is what they're giving me intuitively to pay attention to. That's why I go to maps, okay? But it's showing me an area either where there's statues or a graveyard, where there's like a little bridge that goes over like something. I'm seeing like a little creek, because that's what's at my grandparents where they're buried. It could be just a little bridge going over a gully or something that leads to water on the other side type thing. That's why I go to maps, okay? Because intuitively, this is what I'm getting from the cards, from what my ancestors are telling me. This is what you got to pay attention to. And I feel it's shallow where she is, whether it's water or ground. She's in a shallow grave. The void also talks about winter months, which we are in. Turn your gaze within. Okay. I'm feeling almost where she is, there's something of hers that can be seen in the area. Whether it be a shoe, maybe where they've buried her in the shallow grave, there's something that has pushed up to the surface. Maybe, I don't know, even if it gets cold where you guys are, where she is from, if maybe frost has set in, or it's gotten cold where it's starting to push the ground up a bit. But I'm seeing that something is going to be seen of hers in the area. There's going to be a clue. You're getting close to her. But from this, I am getting that she is now deceased. And I'm praying that the read that I did on her didn't spook whoever did this to her. But I'm not feeling like she's alive. And like I said, I'd have to do another ancestor read to see, an updated read to see. But with that being said, I am going to wait until I get the information from the lady that requested this train read for that information, and I want to go to maps. And then I don't know if I'm going to publish the read or not. I may do it just for myself so I can get a better understanding of this, because I'm now seeing her as deceased. Okay, so I will wait for that information to come through via email to me, and go to the maps. But I will upload this for the person who requested it. And I will go to maps as soon as I get that information, okay? I'm very sorry about the information that has come out. It's not what I expected. And I think I will do another quick ancestor read for myself to see. And I may share that with the people who have asked for this read. And I may not, depending on what I'm getting from it. Okay? Okay, so that is the train read. I will upload this. I hope this maybe gives some information as to where she could be, but I need the locations so I can go to maps, so I can look for this place that I'm seeing. Okay? So thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye for now.